news. It was published on the 18th. It is about FEMA. And to me, it's important for context and for personal preparedness because I've been, saying for the last couple of years, as things decline in this failed state, that you're not going to be able to depend on the government. And so this is a perfect example of how our national government is spending billions of dollars, trillions of dollars on wars and the military industrial complex all over the world. And then when something happens to us at home, they don't care. And part of the reason is because they know this nation is in decline and they have moved on. They are moving on to other things. And so you got to get in where you fit in. For us Black folks, we already know what time it is because this country has never been giving a crap about us. And so, it's just another day in America. For white people, though, it is a wake-up call because more and more often than not, they're finding out that the government is not really there for them like they used to be. So I'm going to tell you about this story, and hopefully you'll file it in the file drawer of I'm on my own, I'm all I got, and I need to do more to prepare and just be aware of what is happening as this society declines. Ohio train derailment. FEMA to deploy team to East Palestine 2 weeks after disaster. Biden administration says Ohio train derailment doesn't meet legal requirements for FEMA disaster declaration. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is deploying federal assistance to Ohio now more than 2 weeks after the toxic Norfolk Southern train derailment that threatened the village of East Palestine. Governor Mike DeWine said the move came following further discussions with the agency. In a joint statement on Friday, the governor and FEMA Regional Administrator Thomas Sivak said FEMA and Ohio have been in constant contact regarding emergency operations in the community. Well, who cares if y'all been in contact for 2 weeks and people can't breathe? You got to leave your home. They're telling you it's safe, but it's not safe. You're drinking dirty water. Your house is contaminated. Like your soil is contaminated. Your life has been uprooted. Who cares? U.S. EPA and Ohio EPA have been working together since day one, they said. Tomorrow, FEMA will supplement federal efforts by deploying a senior response official along with a regional incident management assistance team to support ongoing operations, including incident coordination and ongoing assessment of potential long-term recovery needs. Oh, great. They're going to do assessments. Previously, DeWine had tweeted that East Palestine did not qualify for FEMA assistance. So, they have these big old federal agencies that's set up to help you. But the metric or measure for assistance is changing, and people don't really understand or know what FEMA is really for and who they are there to serve. And when you are in need, you tend to think, oh, FEMA, Homeland Security, or somebody's coming to help you. People don't even really know what these government agencies are for, what they do, the legislation that's put in place for certain disasters. And it's on us to know these things. So, to some extent, I'm sympathetic because now is not the time to bash folks. But here, y'all need to understand what these agencies are for, what their roles are, and who they work for, because they don't work for us, they work for the government. What East Palestine needs is much more expansive than what FEMA can provide, a Biden administration official told Fox News Digital. FEMA is on the front lines when there is a hurricane or tornado. This situation is different. In the press conference earlier in the day, the governor said Ohio would set up a medical clinic there and federal officials from the Department of Health and Human Services would be on site. And I don't know if you've heard the stories about, they don't have any FEMA assistance for these people, but they do have digital IDs that fit on your wrist like Fitbits for all the people that live in that town, where they can get medical care and just use their cell phone to share their medical records with whoever. So very interesting. But anyway, look at this picture of all these poor white people who are being abandoned by the government. People who love America, probably patriots. You can't tell them nothing wrong about America, but look at what America is doing to them. How come we don't have any response for this type of disaster? And why isn't the railroad on the hook for this disaster? Whose fault is it? These people got to spend years trying to figure out who did what and where they're going to get assistance from. Neil Figley, 28, holds his daughter Harley, who is 4. They wait in line at the Norfolk Southern Assistance Center to collect a $1,000 check, y'all, and get reimbursed for expenses while they were evacuated following a train derailment, prompting health concerns on February 17, 2023 in East Palestine, Ohio. So for their trouble, they're going to get a $1,000 check. Everybody's standing outside breathing toxic air. It looked like it's snowing. It's cold. Probably hard working class folks, decent people, but this is what they get. We know that science says that East Palestine is safe, but we also know that residents are very worried. DeWine said, I find that so troubling. Their whole sentence, we know science says, science, science, science. They're going to keep drilling science down, they're going to shove it down our throats. The science. Trust the science. They always want you to trust the science. That's the same thing they said during the event a couple of years ago. And look how everything turned out. Everything is upside down. So, pay attention to these keywords and these buzzwords because they're saying them for a reason. They are asking themselves, is my headache just a headache or is it the result of the chemical spill? Are other medical symptoms caused by the spill? Those are very legitimate questions and residents deserve answers. And this is a cleanup crew alongside a stream as cleanup efforts continue on February 16th. So this picture is of a cleanup crew cleaning up the creek behind the people's houses. And so here it says why the White House turned down the initial disaster relief request. 20 air monitors continue to be moved around East Palestine to monitor different locations and are not detecting contamination from the derailment. Samples taken in 500 homes had found no detections of volatile organic compounds associated with the train derailment. So people are saying they're sick and not feeling well, but whatever this equipment is if it doesn't detect anything, then they don't care. So that's where we are. And, I'm saying all this to say, as this nation goes into decline, you're going to see all this bureaucracy and this finger pointing and nobody doing anything. And I don't want anybody to be under the impression or have this expectation that your government is coming to save you, because they're not. And you can continue to look at these stories. The media will show you, these people standing in line. They will show you FEMA showing up immediately after a disaster. But you never get a disposition of what happens after, a couple of weeks or a couple of months. The story goes away unless somebody does something drastic. Like you never hear anything about it. This story, these people's land will be contaminated. They're probably going to be sick for a long time. The water table is contaminated. You see all the dead fish. People are poking sticks in the creeks, and this chemical is coming up because it's soaked into the ground. These people are left for dead. Basically, it's going to be a slow, painful death. It's going to be like Flint, Michigan. So you see what happened to Flint? Nothing happened. You see what happened in Jackson, Mississippi? Nothing happened. I gave you the story about the water in Houston and some other places. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening in Baltimore and other places where poor people live. Everything is being contaminated. I don't know what we are going to do, but I just want you to pay attention to this gradual demolishing of the things that we need to survive. And so when they tell you that they expect 2/3 of the population to be dead by a certain period of time, I need you to understand this is how it happens. It is going to happen by these types of incidents happening. People are going to die because they don't have access to clean water. People are going to die because they don't have access to healthy food. They don't have a place to live. They don't have proper medical care that they can afford. They don't have a government that gives a crap about them to clean up their messes and to hold companies accountable for what they've done. We live in a failed state, and we need to understand that. And we need to understand what that looks like, and you need to understand what you're seeing. You're not seeing a healthy state. You're not seeing a healthy nation. You are seeing the decline or the ending of a civilization. So please prepare as best you can, and just understand this is what it is. You're going to see plenty of stories like this. People are going to want to tell you, oh, you should not focus on the bad. You should always talk about, switch it up and talk about some good stuff. I'll talk about good stuff when there's something good to talk about. But these days, I need people to wake up. The good times of ignoring what is going on, those days are over. We do not have any allies or advocates who are going to fight for us. We're going to be standing in lines, begging for crumbs. That's what they want. And other things, sinister things are going on behind the scenes. Like these people are, being given bracelets in order to receive health care. People are going to take them because guess what? They're sick and they're poor. And these bracelets are going to be tracking devices. So there's so much stuff going on. I can't even begin to tell you, but we're going to talk about them over the next couple of weeks. And I hope you stick around to get the gist of what's happening. But things are starting to happen really quickly. And there are too many things happening in too many different parts of the country for them to be coincidences. So again, pay attention, understand, you are living in a failed state. And you're not going to get much help. These people are fighting a war, and they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about this country. They need some of us, a lot of us, to be gone. And this is how it's going to continue to happen. It's going to look just like this. So with that said, I'll put the article in the comment section. Please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Please also subscribe to my Odyssey and my Rumble channels in case this channel is taken offline or I get a strike, because censorship is an issue now. We are under attack. We can't speak. We don't have free speech. So please leave me your feedback in the comment section. But it's getting rough out here, y'all. So just want to keep you posted and keep you aware, keep you thinking, because there's not much we can do. I'm the Most High. He's going to be our Savior. And so we shouldn't fear, we shouldn't have anxiety, but we should watch, because we need to see what evil looks like. We need to hear what it looks like. We need to understand what it feels like to live under tyranny and evil so that we can move away from it. This is evil and it's going to continue. All right, y'all. I'm out.